Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, The Native Problem by Robert Sheckley. But first, hear this.
This is Marion Baker of Atlanta, Georgia. As a teacher, there is a problem that I feel quite acutely. I know most of you think I'm speaking of low salaries or inadequate school facilities. True, both of these situations should be remedied. But actually, what I would like to speak to you about is something which should be quite close to you as parents. Each day in your community, there are quite probably children who will miss valuable days in school simply because of preventable illnesses. It's all very easy to speak of the normal winter cold, but such things as hot breakfasts, good lunches, adequate clothing, and shoes can do more than any yet-to-be-discovered miracle drug in keeping our children warm and healthy and in class. Look into your school system this fall when your youngsters go back to school, but give equal consideration to the way in which you look after your children's needs.
Now, X minus 1, and tonight's story, The Native Problem.
To begin with, my name is Edward Danton. I've always been a misfit. Oh, that's all right. I'm not sensitive about it. In fact, I've grown rather proud of it. I just don't fit in the modern 22nd century world. There was no place in all of New York City, from Norfolk to Bangor, where I felt at home. And it was the same in every other great city complex on Earth. In school, I took such elementary subjects as group acculturation, sibling fit, values recognition, and folkways judgment. There was only one thing to do. As practically every misfit in the past century had done, I decided to migrate to deep space and find a place where I could call my soul my own. I told my best friend Al Trevor of my plan.
Good night. You're really going, Ed?
That's right, Al. Just as far from this solar system as I can get.
But why, man?
You've played 12-handed bridge with me, Al. You know what a dope I am at mass dancing. I'm a misfit. I want to get away. And it's not like in the days when the ships used the old Nicholson Drive, with these new GM subspatial torque converters where we can travel in a matter of months what used to take them 30 or 40 years.
Well, I hate to see you go.
One more thing, Al. I'm going to give you my breeding certificate.
Oh, now, Ed, we couldn't let you do
You and
that.
Myrtle want 2 children, don't you?
Well, we've always wanted to have 2, but you mustn't
I won't need a breeding certificate where I'm going. As a matter of fact, I may even find it impossible to breed at all.
Well, that could be rather frustrating, old man.
Well, maybe after a while I'll find a girl pioneer. In the meantime, there's always sublimation.
True. What substitute have you selected?
Vegetable gardening. Might as well be practical, you know.
Might as well. Well, old man, good luck, and thanks for that breeding certificate.
The next day, I took off for the stars on a government ship. The spot I picked was out in what they call the New Territories. The planet I finally settled for was ideal. A calm, watery place dotted with fertile islands, blessed with a mild, uniform climate, and absolutely uninhabited. When they left me there, I took formal possession and christened the place New Tahiti, for obvious reasons. At first, it was fine. I was busy exploring, growing vegetables, and building a shelter. After that, though, time began to drag. I had to do something. But what? I was marooned on this deserted planet, and it might be years before another Earthship would land here. And then, miraculously, it happened. A ship came out of the skies and headed for a landing on my own private island. It was an ancient Mickelson Drive job, battered and scored, but bearing a proud legend painted on its nose. The Hutter people, it read. When the ship landed on the beach, I ran out to meet it, forgetting that I must have looked more like a naked savage than a fellow Earthman. Hey, there in the ship!
Stop where you are!
Welcome to New Tahiti. Boy, am I glad to see you folks. What's the latest news from...
Stand back there. Take another step and I'll shoot.
What, is something wrong?
What's your name?
Edward Danton. What's yours?
Simeon Smith, military commander of the Hutter people. And this is Jedediah Franker, my second in command.
How come you speak English, boy?
Me? Why, I've always spoken English.
Where are the others? Where are they hiding?
There aren't any others. Just me.
I see.
Father, can't we come out now?
No, get back in the ship, Anita.
Then I'll watch from here.
Say, she's pretty. Your daughter?
Huh.
What do you think, Simeon?
It's what I expected. Ingratiating, fawning, undoubtedly treacherous.
Yeah.
His people won't show themselves, you notice? Probably waiting in ambush. I think an object lesson is in order.
Right. Put the fear of civilization into them.
Hey, don't point that gun at me.
Father, no, he hasn't done anything yet.
This way the others will know we mean business.
It isn't right.
Let him have it, Jedediah.
No, wait!
Hey! He's running for the woods. Shoot him, Jedediah. Okay. Shoot him. We've got to teach these savages who's boss.
You're listening to The Native Problem, tonight's attraction on X-1. Friends, for as many years as any of us can remember, the sadness that polio has brought to so many homes has been almost unparalleled. But a greater sadness than this lies ahead for any who may from now on catch polio, because it may be due to carelessness. Vaccination against polio, the well-known Salk shots, is more than 75% effective. And it's due to such vaccination that there was a drop of 47% in polio cases last year. 5 million have had as much as one shot of the vaccine. And please remember that while the first and second shots are helpful, the third shot is necessary for maximum protection. Now, there's plenty of vaccine, and the doctors are anxious to cooperate. Remember, the end of polio is at hand, but it takes 3 visits to the doctor to lick it. Can you afford not to go? Now, back to X-1 and the native problem.
I was just plain lucky to get back to the friendly cover of the forest without stopping a bullet. It was obvious these people were too jumpy just then to listen to reason and believe me when I told them that I was not a native, that I was all alone here. I decided to wait a while. About dusk, I crept through the woods to get as near their ship as I could without being seen. They had come out of their ship. There were several dozen men and women, and a few children. They were grouped around a campfire eating. On the edges of the group were several armed men looking toward the woods with apprehension. I watched while their leader, Simeon, stepped into the circle of firelight to address them. I could hear everything he said plainly.
Friends, we have come at last to our long-awaited home, our promised land. Behold, a land of milk and honey, a place of bounty and abundance. Was it not worth the long voyage, the constant peril, the endless search?
Yes, it was.
However, there is an aboriginal people here, naked and savage, undoubtedly cunning, ruthless and amoral, as aboriginals always are. Of these we must beware. We will live in peace with them if they will let us. No one can tell what goes on in a savage heart. Their standards are not ours. Their morals are not ours. We cannot trust them. We must be forever on guard. And if in doubt, we must shoot first. Remember, land too.
This was not going to be easy. I decided not to try another approach that night. The next morning, as they were bustling about unloading their spaceship, I walked down to the beach and headed straight for them with my hands held out to show them that they were empty. The sentry stopped me at the point of a gun, and in a minute, both Simeon and Jedekiah came running up, covering me with their weapons. I stood still, my flesh creeping in anticipation of the bullets someone might fire at me any minute.
So you have come back.
I'd like to explain.
I am the leader of these people. I am the big chief fella. You, big fella chief, your people?
There's no need to talk that way. I told you yesterday. I have no people. There's just me. I speak English.
Unless you're honest with me, you're going to regret it. Now, where's your tribe?
I'm an Earthman. Are you deaf? Can't you tell by the way I talk?
Now, listen, you.
Excuse me, Simeon. I don't believe I have met your friend.
Professor Baker, this savage here claims to be an Earthman.
Oh? You are an Earthman?
That's right. My name is Edward Danton. Only a few months ago, I left Earth on a spaceship.
How was it powered?
By a GM subspatial torque converter.
What do you think, Professor?
It's amazing. Truly amazing. His grasp of colloquial English bespeaks a fairly high level of intelligence, which points up a phenomenon frequently met with in savage societies, namely, an unusually well-developed power of mimicry. Our friend Dante, as his original uncorrupted name must have been, will probably be able to tell us many tribal legends and myths.
Oh, come off it, Professor. I'm an Earthman.
No, my poor friend, you are not. Obviously, you have met an Earthman. Some trader, I dare say, stopping for repairs.
We saw signs that a spaceship once landed here, Professor.
Oh, confirmation of my hypothesis.
That was the government ship that dropped me off here.
It is interesting to note how his almost plausible story lapses into myth at various crucial points. He claims this ship was powered by a GM subspatial torque converter. Now, this is a nonsense syllabification, since the only deep space drive is at Nicholson. He also claims that the journey from Earth was made in a matter of months, since his untutored mind cannot conceive of a journey lasting for years. Yet we know that no space drive, even theoretically, can reach here from Earth in less than 30 or 40 years.
Then GM must have been developed after you left Earth. How long have you been gone?
The Hutter ship left Earth 120 years ago. We are mostly fourth and fifth generation.
Now, come on, Danta. Where's your tribe? Where are they hiding?
This is preposterous. What can I do to convince you I'm from Earth?
That's enough. We won't stand for backtalk from natives. Where are your people?
There's only me.
Maybe a taste of the black snake whip will loosen his tongue.
Later, Jedekiah. His tribe will come around for handouts. Natives always do.
Then let's put him to work. Danta, you can join that work gang over there unloading supplies.
No, thanks. I'll go back.
Chief said no backtalk. Why are you natives always so bone lazy? You'll be paid as soon as we unload the beads and calico. Now get to work.
What could I do? I joined the work gang and unloaded the ship. By late afternoon, we had finished. I sneaked off to sit beside a mountain spring near the ship. In a few minutes, Anita, the pretty girl I had noticed the day before, came and sat beside me.
Hello, Danta.
Oh. Anita, do you think I'm a native?
What else can I think? Everyone knows how fast a spaceship can travel.
Times have changed since your people left Earth. By the way, they weren't in space all that time, were they?
No, they originally settled on a planet called Land 2. But there was a native rebellion. We barely managed to escape.
In that case, I can understand why they're so nervous about aboriginals.
Oh, but don't worry, Dada. Things will be better when the council takes over.
Who are they?
A council of elders. They're men of goodwill who detest violence. And if you and your people are really peaceable...
I haven't any people.
Yes, I know. But if you and your people are really peaceable, you're sure to prosper under the rule of the elders.
It was no use. I couldn't even convince her. But as we sat together and talked, I began to forget my problems. I was enchanted by her. And I think she liked me, too. After a while, as though it were the most natural thing in the world, she was in my arms, and I was kissing her.
What's going on here?
Oh, Jedekiah.
You're a disgrace to your people. Are you out of your mind, girl? You can't mess around with a dirty native and keep your self-respect.
Now, just a minute, you...
Shut up! As for you, you've got to learn something and learn it good. Natives don't fool around with Hutter women. I'm going to impress that little lesson on you right here and now.
Jedekiah, don't!
I've had enough from you.
Danta, you struck him.
He tried to hit me first. Get up, Jedekiah. You're not hurt.
Oh, my jaw. Help! Help! The natives are revolting! Help!
Well, that did it. People began to shout and run all over the place. Anita tried to calm them down, but it was no use. I took to the brush just before they turned a machine gun on me. And all that night I hid, while armed parties went crashing through the woods, shouting and firing at shadows. It was a nightmare.
There goes one.
Quick! They're behind us. Turn the machine gun.
Got him!
No, they got away. Look. Look there in the trees. Fire, man! Fire!
It was like that all night long. By morning, I was exhausted, and so were they. I hid in the jungle and waited. I don't know what for. And then, along about the middle of the day, I saw Anita. I thought she was alone at first, and I knew she was looking for me. I stepped out in the trail in front of her.
Oh, it's you, Danta.
Anita, There are men back there.
It's all right. They won't harm you. They came to guard me. Danta, are you all right?
Guard you from me?
They don't know you as I do. At the council meeting today, I told them the truth.
You did?
I told them the fight wasn't your fault. I told them you were only defending yourself. And Jedekiah lied. No pack of natives attacked him. It was only you. And I told them this.
At last. Did they believe you?
Oh, yes. I explained that the native attack came later.
Native attack? Now, look, there wasn't any attack, Anita. There couldn't be. There aren't any natives. I could tell right then it was no use trying to convince anyone, even the girl I loved. It was then that I decided back to her people and waited for a time just to make them nervous. Then, the next morning, I came striding into the middle of the Hutter camp.
Halt! One step more and I'll kill you.
I want to see Simeon.
All right, Jedekiah, I'll take over. Here I am, Danta.
Shall I shoot him, Simeon?
No, let him speak. Go on, Danta. What is it?
I have come here to bring you a declaration of war.
What?
I'll kill him now.
What is it? What's happened? Oh, Danta, what is it?
It's war.
But I begged with you to bring peace to your people.
They wouldn't listen. It's war. All the tribes are gathering from every outlying island.
How many are there?
Many thousands, 50 or 60. We will fight to the death.
Danta, wait. Surely we can reach an agreement. Why shed all this blood?
There is a way.
I thought so. What do you want?
Equal rights.
Yes. What else?
That is all. Except, naturally, an alliance between the ruling clan of the Hutters and the ruling clan of New Tahiti. In short, a marriage.
Never. We'll fight, even though we're wiped out.
We can't. We wouldn't have a chance. Accept, Father. Accept before it's too late.
How can I accept? Where could I find a Hutter woman who would sacrifice herself for a marriage like that?
Why don't you ask me?
So it came about. Anita and I were married and were very happy. The Hutters, too, prospered in their new land, and soon they began to build up a thriving new civilization. Anita and I and our family moved to one of the more remote islands, where we weren't so much in the thick of things. Sometimes people would come to see us and ask me to talk about my people, and I would tell them how they could not stand the white man's civilization and how they died off, all but me. It always made them feel very guilty, and somehow I liked to watch them squirm. As I said, I've always been a misfit.
Fred Collins again. I'll have another word about X-1 in a moment. X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features Break a Leg by Jim Harmon. The man worthwhile couldn't be allowed to smile. If he ever laughed at himself, the entire ship and crew were as good as dead. Read it in Galaxy Magazine on your newsstand today. X-1 has brought you The Native Problem, a story written by Robert Sheckley and adapted for radio by William Welch. Featured in the cast were John Thomas, Joseph Boland, James Dukas, Ellen Muir, Charles Webster, and Alan Bergman. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was an NBC Radio Network production.
Good morning, weirdos. How are you? I just couldn't wait. I was so excited. What do you think about that holiday chicken? She's like, oh no, Halloween's over, no. Totally, man. Oh my God, like no way. For sure. So how the hell are you? I've been driving my van. Awesome sauce. No, really. Vroom, vroom. Yeah, big deal. I drove it to install that gate. I installed that gate. Let me get some pictures. That's it, yeah. Pictures. Yep, this is the right phone. So, like, I'm gonna totally send myself some pictures. And there we go. And now, I can totally pull them up on my graphics computer. Right? Yeah, it'll take a minute, but hey, we'll get there. So yeah, I've been driving my van. Of course, my battery was under warranty. So my wife brought home a new battery Thursday or Wednesday. The other day. It was pretty cool. Oh, Quincy Jones has died. Another one bites the dust. Ah, Quincy. Yep. Let's see. I am going to... and there's my message with the 6 photos. Open up, baby. Right, we're going to download. Alright. Yep, and one more. All she wrote. Totally. Alright, I'm gonna take these 6 photos here, baby. And it seems kind of time consuming, doesn't it? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I'm gonna take these guys, move them down to my morning show. And then I can just bibbidi-bobbidi-boo. Alright, so my wife's friend asked if I could build her a gate, and she showed me a photo of a gate and said, can you build something like this? And I said, sure. So I immediately drew up plans and took the plans over to her, showed her the plans, and made measurements. And then, no more and then. I spent like a month getting the material together and procrastinating. And eventually I finished the gate. And let me go ahead and show. So here is the entrance to her house, and there is the gate. I built this gate here. I tried to get it as close to color and rustic appearance as possible. So I used pre-stained rough wood, right? And I installed the gate there so she could keep her dogs in this room here while still allowing airflow and still allowing the dogs a place to jump up and look to see what's going on, man. So there's my gate. Isn't that beautiful? She's like, don't do a thing to it. It's a perfect color. It's beautiful. I picked out all the hardware, black, to match her black hardware she's got everywhere else. And it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed building that. I had ideas of staining it closer to this color, but when you look at it against this tile and this tile, it's like a perfect blend in the hall here. So we decided to leave it just like that. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I put a top on it. Nice, smooth, soft top. So you can, the dogs have a place to rest their paws. I've got a latch, sliding bolt latch here, and a nice wrought iron handle. Ah, boy. That was a fun job. I really enjoyed doing that. Thank you, Ginny, for allowing me to build that for you. And thank you for the bonus. I appreciate that immensely. Yeah. So, it is Monday Movie Memories. Anybody got any movies they want to talk about? Huh? I watched 2 movies yesterday. Well, over the weekend. Not just 2, but 2 of them were very similar. The first one that I watched, a Brian De Palma film that I had never seen. I thought maybe I had seen pieces of it, and I imagine I've probably seen a trailer, but I had never seen Paul Williams and Brian De Palma's Phantom of the Paradise. I had never seen that. Fantastic, crazy film. It's really, really weird. I love that. I love anything that Paul Williams does because he is just an awesome composer. All right. I believe this is coming off of this Phantom of the Paradise was probably a few years after. A few years after Bugsy Malone for Paul Williams and a few years after Carrie for Brian De Palma. Great movie. So after I watched Phantom of the Paradise, I decided that I wanted to watch Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. So I put that one on and watched that. I love a good Anthony Zerbe movie. And Ace with... Ace is probably my favorite character in that, just because of his voice and his mannerisms, right? Just unbelievable. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I got busy on the dubage as well. Yesterday, went out, got my daughter some gummies. She likes those gummies for cramps, pain, that kind of stuff. And I can totally dig it. My mother used to smoke a lot of weed when she was having her cramps. But no need to smoke anymore. She just chops off a little piece of gummy and she's set. Bada bing, baby. And, I told her, or did I, that you can't, if you got any school stuff that you need to do that day, don't do a gummy. It'll destroy your whole day. Of course, if you're like out of school for the day and you just want to flop around and play video games. Oh yeah, that's the ticket. But mainly she just uses them for cramps. I remember the first time she took a little bite of one, and she's like, it didn't do anything for the cramps, but I just don't give a shit anymore. That's the way I do it. You know, my pain's still here. I still feel it. I just don't give a shit anymore. Yeah. Anyways, I thought, all right, a new satchel of some different stuff. I might as well clean out my bong. And so I did. And I got a nice clean bong. Yeah, baby. So Brian De Palma, what a weirdo, huh? What a weirdo. When did he stop making movies, right? Because I haven't heard of a good Brian De Palma movie in like decades. What the hell's up with... Did he die, did he? I don't know. I don't know. Let's check it out. We're going to check it out. Brian. Let's see, I'll go Brian D. Palma. He's 84 years old. Let's check Wikipedia here. And see what he's done lately. 2019, Domino. 2012, Passion. 27, wow. He really takes his time in between movies. The Black Dahlia. Oh, I didn't know he did that. Femme Fatale. Bruce Springsteen. Complete video collection. Mission to Mars. Really? Which Mission to Mars was that? Oh, yeah. That one. I get it. Snake Eyes. He did a Mission Impossible. Oh, he did the Mission Impossible. He was the first director of the first movie. Huh. Bonfire of the Vanities, Casualties of War. That was a crazy one. The Untouchables, right. Wise Guys. He does a lot of Bruce Springsteen videos. Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Relax. Don't do it. Yeah. Body Double. That's a crazy one. Scarface. Ooh, everybody knows Scarface. Body Double was kind of kind of a weird one. Blowout. Great John Travolta movie. Dress to Kill. Home Movies. The Fury. Ooh. That one, The Fury, came right off of Carrie, and it's kind of the same thing. A guy with super mind powers. Ooh. Phantom of the Paradise. So Phantom of the Paradise he did before Carrie. Wow. Sisters. Oh, that one's crazy. 1972. Yep. Brian De Palma. Yeah, that's it. There, George. So he's only made 42 movies. Wow. As director. He's written 18. Written 18. So Brian De Palma, crazy stuff. Well, absolutely crazy, man. All right. I gotta get rid of this thing. I keep hearing myself. Yeah. So yesterday, I actually finished loading all of my media for the week. And I did the weekly programming guide and got that done before midnight. I'm like, wow, it's 9:30 and I'm done for the week. I'm like, shut up. I was in bed by 10:30. It was fucking great. I actually got enough sleep last night that I was up before the alarm, staring at the clock going, is it time to get up yet? Right? Nobody does that at 4 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning, right? Is it time to get up yet? Jeez, us friggin' insomniacs, though. Speaking of insomniac, I uploaded a French kind of art education film about insomnia. And I think that one's today. I really do. I think it's today. Is it today? I think it's today that it airs at 4 p.m. Totally. Going in. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Damn, songs keep going through my head. I had 1920s and 30s music going through my head so much the other day. I literally had to wake up and do my own show. I had to get up and put on all kinds of music. And it was great. I let it all out, yeah. Well, this sucks. Lost my glass screen and a pile of ashes here. That just bites the patootie. That's the patootie biter. Oh, and I dumped my trash can. Ah, jeez. I'm going to have to empty this because my dog likes to dig through my trash when everybody's sleeping. He's a kook. Ah, and there it is. And there it is. It dropped on the floor. I thought it might have dropped on the floor. Ah. Alright, clean ashtray. Anybody got anything planned this week? Like voting? Is anybody going to vote? Not that they're giving us much to vote on. But of course, they always scare us every single election. You get those propositions, right? Every state has those propositions that if you don't vote the right way, it's like life and death, right? It's life or death. If you don't vote this way, half of the people are going to die. If you don't vote this way, the other half are going to die. I mean, that's the way they make it seem. Like, you have no choice but to vote this way. But if you vote that way, then you're screwed. So you have no choice but to vote this way. But if you vote that way, you're screwed. It's like, what the fuck? You know? What the fuck? I don't claim to know anything about what really goes on behind closed doors, right? None of us do, unless you're in there. And even if you're in there, you're still manipulated by somebody else. You know, you think that they're manipulated by our votes and our wants and desires. No. No, our votes are just a facade to make us think, to feel like we've got some kind of choice. We don't really. We go through the motions. We go in, we vote. We vote the lesser of two evils all the way down the line, right? In our own hearts and minds, we vote the lesser of two evils. And is that a way to run a country? I think not. I think not. I mean, it's supposed to be a government by the people, for the people. And it to me, it's apparent that it is a government for the government, by the government, to take care of the government, to proliferate the government, and to increase taking. Because that's what it is. It's taking. They're taking from us to feed them. We should be giving money to support our country, but instead they're taking money to support themselves. That's it. That's the way it is. That's the way this crazy old weird bearded guy sees it. That they're in it for the money. They're in it for their own power and prestige and money and all that. And they use us to get there. They use our votes. They use our moral compass, wherever that might sway, right? It's just... Am I going to vote? Probably. I should have voted already absentee, and then that way I wouldn't have to deal with going down to the polling station. Because I do not like that. And I think voting is tomorrow this year. And it's on Tuesdays, right? This is the first Tuesday of the month tomorrow, so I imagine. I imagine the country's fucked, no matter which way it goes, really. No matter which way it goes. There are some propositions written especially for the continuing and the, once again, proliferation of Agenda 21. You can give me the stink eye all you want, and you can think, oh God, this guy's talking crazy shit. I've seen the documents, all right? Back when the internet was open and free and you could actually search out stuff and find it. I may actually have a copy of it somewhere. I found it. I read it. It's bizarre how much they want to manipulate the human race. And Proposition 33, I imagine that the way that it's written, it's going to help Agenda 21 either way, no matter how you decide to vote. Agenda 21 in some way will be protected by Proposition 33 here in California. There's that. It's going to be almost impossible to build new housing in California, right? Unless that new housing is down along major highways, which is where they want everybody to live. No new building. They're not going to allow any new building in rural areas, way out in the sticks. They're not going to allow new communities to pop up out in the middle of nowhere, because they don't want people living out in the middle of nowhere. They don't want people close to resources, natural resources. They don't want people next to lakes and rivers and streams where they can fish. They don't want people up in the mountains where they can hunt. They don't care if they're in the desert. They really don't care if they're in the desert. But they don't want them out in areas where they want to control the natural resources. How can they sell shit back to us if we have easy access to it, right? There you go. Big business and corporations have stepped in to help Agenda 21. And there are so many people involved with Agenda 21, most of them don't even know what their purpose is in line with 21. That's just the way it is. Clueless. I'm going to have to look. Let me write this down. I'm going to have to look around and see if I can find my copy of Agenda 21. It's been a decade or more since I've read it. If I can find it, I will try to post it. And what I might do is I might read from it, right? And we'll see how my algorithms take it. Watch, I'll destroy my channel with this one phrase, Agenda 21. So what is 821? It's part of the NWO, the New World Order, all right? Basically, they want to either get us all fighting each other or get us beholding to one government, right? One government, one world government that kind of has say over everybody and what everybody does all over the world. Every country will still have, for a while, will still have their own authority, but they'll still be answering to Agenda 21 and the New World Order, just like we tried to get everybody on board with the United Nations. The United Nations is where they developed Agenda 21, because we saw that, well, those in power saw that humanity is more likely to run amok than to all get on the same page. The only bummer is that we've already seen that when we give the country over to corporate America and Pharmerica, I mean, we're just screwing ourselves even worse, because all they want to do is have people to buy. They just want to sell, and they just want people to buy. I don't understand how so many corporations on this planet cannot understand that we just cannot keep mining the hell out of this planet. We just cannot keep sucking at the teat of Mother Earth, because she doesn't have enough. She doesn't have enough to support us as we are now, some 8 billion, right? Isn't that where we're at, about 8 billion? We're supposed to be at like 9.5 billion people on this fucking planet by like any time now. Yeah, we're fucked. And we just let big corporation, big business just fuck this planet up even more. Why? Because we just want to buy. Buy. By and large. Wall-E. Pixar. Watch it. It is a true story. That's one of those movies where you stack up all the movies and you start pulling apart little tiny bits and pieces out of each movie. Earth disaster movies, right? And you take all of these pieces together, and Wall-E has got a lot of those pieces in there. It's amazing. That little animated movie about cute little robots can speak so many truths about humanity, right? In such a cute, funny little way. I mean, so fat and lazy that the only muscles they have are on their fingers for pushing buttons and on their mouths from ordering shit up. Yeah. They don't even walk anymore. They just get dollied around in these little floating chairs, right? Because that's all they know. We're getting there. We're coming close. Yeah. So yesterday, of course, I went and did a little bit of work. Went and cleaned a couple of houses with the wife. And then came home starving. About 2:30, 3 o'clock. I'm just like, oh, I need something. So I grabbed some carne, some ground beef, and make a nice burger, right? Something really thin, handmade, so it's like all weird shaped, and my wife calls it a spider burger. It looks like a spider, como araña. So I make a burger and fries and a Coke. And so I come in and I mac down my lunch, and I'm like, yeah, this is going to be dinner for me. It's like 3 o'clock, and I'm eating a big burger and fries. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to eat again the rest of the night. This is it. And I didn't. So my daughter, she's up now, and she's like milling around. She's going, well, I'm getting kind of hungry now. And I said, well, what do you want? She says, well, one of them burgers would be nice. So I made her a burger. So I got her a burger and fries and did that up and got it done. And then my wife comes home, and she's like, where's my food? So I made her a burger. And she didn't want any fries, but she did want lettuce and tomato. And then my daughter comes out, and she's like, oh, man, lettuce and tomato, how come I didn't? It's like, hey, I just make them to order, baby. I just make them to order. I just made you what I had, so. But it was cool. So that was dinner. Of course, my daughter, she's got a pretty high metabolism, so she eats every couple of hours. So she was out here 2 or 3 more times yesterday. After that, hungry. But I think I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a huge tall glass of milk at about 8 last night. Instead of dinner at 6, I just snacked until then, and then had a peanut butter and jelly. Snacking by, I mean like a piece of chocolate or something. Oh, that's good coffee. Holiday Chicken looks surprised. He's like, what holiday's next? Well, we've got a few. Don't we have Indigenous Day coming up or something? Or Thanksgiving? Or Native American, I think is what it is. On Friday after Thanksgiving. Of course, they have to share it with Black Friday, the holiday that celebrates raping the planet to produce crap to fill the landfills of the planet with more crap, right? Yay! What a holiday. So Thanksgiving is coming up. And yeah, you know what? We don't celebrate Thanksgiving. We celebrate having a meal together. That's what we do. We cook a nice big meal. We get together. It's a holiday, so there's usually nothing for us to do. So we have the time to spend together. More than likely, Mom and I will be going out and cleaning houses over that weekend. Because holidays are big for vacation rentals. So we don't usually get a holiday. We usually get a couple of hours of a holiday. Mostly we have to clean houses. But that's okay. I'm not one for holidays. I'm not one for structured celebrations. You have to celebrate this because that's what you're supposed to do, right? So we have turkey, of course, because I love turkey. And you can't get turkey all year long. You can, but it's So I love to cook, period. But I love to cook the big turkey dinner thing. And last year, my wife bought a big, full-sized electric oven, big enough to put a whole giant turkey in, right? Awesome sauce. So in lieu of doing it on the barbecue one year, she decided, you know what, because our oven gave out on us. And then the year before that, we cooked it in the neighbor's house because we always share with him anyway. So it was like, okay, we're just going to... So she went over there and she prepped it all and took it over and went over a bunch of times and hung out with him and talked with him and made turkey and stuff and then brought him back a bunch of food. So that was... And he's a recluse. He doesn't get out. A shut-in hoarder. So then the following year she got that electric oven so we could cook it in the house. And it's a great little, we use it all the time now. I think we're going to get just get a microwave that's got the bake and the air fryer, right? Because my daughter likes that air fryer. So you put anything in there and put it on air fry, and it's cooked up nice and crispy. I like it too. I like to bake stuff. Having a full-size electric oven is really cool. It works awesome. I did a roast in there. I can do my tamale pie in there. We can do a cake. You can cook anything in there. It's friggin' awesome. And it's got convection oven settings. And that's pretty cool. It's got another setting on it. But it's awesome sauce. Somebody's like, what the hell does it have to do with Movie Mondays? Oh my God. I don't know who tuned in for the Halloween special, but it was a lot of fun. I can't believe that I made it exactly 2 hours long without really trying. And that's kind of what, like this morning, I didn't try to start at exactly 5 a.m., but that's when my credits were rolling at 5 a.m. I'm so used to doing stuff that it just kind of comes natural to start and stop things and not really think about the time. And then I look at the time and like, oh wow, it's perfect. Totally. Oh my God. Yeah. Let's see, I've got jury duty coming up. I may be doing my teeth right before that, so I'm gonna get online and try to get it extended out until spring, because that's probably when I'm going to be ready to get out and do stuff again. You know, and they can't force me to go out into public, right? I mean, that's just the way it is. Like now, I'm physically unable. Ain't gonna happen. And you know, if I got to go to a freaking doctor so that they'll say he's a metal case and you don't want him, then that's what I'll fucking do, right? Because I don't need that extra fucking push into darkness, right? It's like no, if I don't feel comfortable going out into the world, I'm not gonna fucking go. Arrest me, but I'm not gonna go. You know, at least under arrest, I'm in a cell, right? I'm at least alone, for the most part. So, you know, it's not that I don't want to. It's just that I won't be able to for a while. So, yeah, so I'll be looking to get it postponed. A lot of people are saying, I need to get out of jury duty. That's not it. I don't want to get out of it. I'm actually at the point in my life where I want to do it because I want to, it's like skydiving. I want to skydive, you know. I'd love to ride in a plane. I'd like to skydive. I'd like to travel to the other side of the planet, go to a place that I never thought I was ever going to go. That kind of, you know, bucket list stuff. That's part of the bucket list is to do a jury thing. I'm not talking, you know, life or death. You know, I don't want to be on a murder trial. You know, a drunk driver maybe. Well, I'd give them hell too, because I don't hold back. They're not under the influence. They're not, you know, intoxicated, or they're fucking drunk drivers. You know, don't pussyfoot around about the terminology, which is what they were trying to do in court. And I said, no, they're drunk drivers. To me, they're drunk drivers. You put one drop behind on your lips, and you get behind the wheel. You're a drunk freaking driver. the judge and the lawyer are like, yeah, we don't want him. There you go. Like, because I speak the fucking truth. I don't pussyfoot around about the bullshit to make people feel all warm and fuzzy and cozy inside. Fuck you. You know, if your feelings get hurt over something, go see a fucking shrink. Don't make the whole world coddle to your fucking feel. The world ain't your fucking mother. My feelings were hurt. You can never, ever say that again, or I will take you to court. I will take you to court. Fuck you. Grow up, pussy. I mean, a whole generation of people that want to be coddled. That's it. You're not allowed to hurt my feelings. Well, fuck you. They're your feelings. Fucking deal with them. Make me responsible for your fucking feelings. Oh. That just bleh, disgusts me about the world. That the world is going along with it in a huge... no. I don't do that. You know, your feelings get hurt. Deal with your fucking feelings. Don't just point the blame at somebody else and then run around screaming at everybody, my feelings, my feelings. What are you going to deal with that way, right? Blaming everybody. They're your fucking feelings. If you got bad feelings, fucking deal with it. Make somebody else responsible for your feelings. Dipshits. Fucking idiots. So let's see, I'm going to be researching the Tournament of Roses parade and seeing what I can come up with to try to put something together for the new year. I will be researching some Thanksgiving stuff and Native American studies and try to do something this month for that. I'll be looking for the Agenda 21 files and all that implies. Friday, the three of us are going here in the desert to the Acrisure Arena to see Los Tigres del Norte. Los Tigres del Norte, one of my wife's favorite groups. One of my favorite groups of my wife, as is my daughter. So we each have our own favorite groups, right? And then it's really neat when somebody else in the household, that's their favorite group of your likes, so to speak. Like my daughter's favorite group of my music is ELO. My favorite group of my wife's music is Los Tigres del Norte, Frank Saralde, Celia Cruz, that kind of stuff. Vicente Fernandez. Yeah, I could go on. So, and then of course my daughter, she's got a lot of great music that I enjoy to listen to. So, The Cab, Motion City Soundtrack, Fall Out Boy, Harry Styles, Paramore, the list goes on and on and on. But yeah, it's pretty cool that we all share in each other's music. And this time we get to share together and go down and see one of Mom's favorite groups at a place that my daughter and I together have seen ELO most recently. And her third time seeing Harry Styles was there on his birthday at this arena. And it's a small arena. It's only got it only seats like 7,000 to 11,000 people. And usually it's closer to 7 because of the way they set it up. So, wow. This ought to be fun. I don't know where we're sitting. I don't know what's going on. I don't know anything. If there's an opener, nothing. I'm just, it's one of those where I don't have to worry about a long drive. I don't have to worry about anything. My wife and daughter have got it handled. At the most, I may drive. If I can talk my way out of driving, I won't be driving. If I could talk them into leaving early and talk my wife into driving, then I may just be completely off duty on this one, which would be awesome. Because the last one that I went to, I didn't go to the concert, but I was the chauffeur. I was the cab. So I was still on. But this time, if I don't have to drive and I'm just a passenger and I'm sitting in the back and let them take care of everything, I hope they have shirts, because I really, really want a shirt. Shirt, I don't know about shirts are important to me. I never had a lot of shirts growing up, and most of the shirts that I had were either hand-me-down shirts or thrift store shirts. I rarely got new shirts. If I did, most oftentimes they were from my grandmother, and they were a bag of T-shirts or some kind of weird sweater from Mervyn's or JCPenney or Kmart or something, because she always had these cards. She had the credit cards for the different department stores. She just had a shitload of department store credit cards, and she would just pay minimums, right, and just go back around and just use this one until it was about maxed out, and then she'd go to the next one and she'd start paying on this one, and she would just juggle these fucking cards. And when it was holidays or birthdays, she would just find a card that had some balance on it and would go to one of those department stores and buy socks and underwear, sweaters, cologne, right? She was saying something there. Clean underwear and cologne. That sends a message, right? The cologne kits always had soap in them. It wasn't just cologne, but it was like soap and aftershave and all of this stuff that a young man should be using. And I never did. It was like, here, Robert, I don't use this crap. And I don't even think he used it. We would have this shit sitting forever. These boxes of Brute, Old Spice, Aqua Velva, and literally she would get us these boxes, these multi-boxes of all these bottles of stuff that we had no fucking idea what to use. We had no clue what to do with this shit. I mean, literally, I was in the 4th grade when she bought me my first kit. I think it was Brute. And it was this big cardboard box with a plastic front on it, and it was for Christmas. And it was these little bottles that looked like little bottles of booze, right? And they were like blue, these different shades of blue bottles, Aqua Velva. And it was cologne and aftershave and just weird fucking shit. And to me, it just all smelled the same. It smelled like a whorehouse and a bar, right? It smelled like a bunch of whores in a bar. That's what it smelled like. Because I'm just a kid, and I don't know about using cologne. If I used it, I'd probably used way too much, and people would have looked at me and gone, "What the fuck is this kid doing?" It don't cover up the stink, kid. Yeah. And then from then on, there were like a half dozen Christmases or more from then on, where she would just show up out of the blue before Christmas, on Christmas, after Christmas, near the holiday, and she would show up with a bunch of gifts. And every single time it contained socks, underwear, cologne, and some kind of funky sweater. Sweaters, holiday sweaters. But it wasn't just that. They were like late 70s, early 80s holiday sweaters. So it wasn't like there were reindeer and Santa and shit. There were like these weird angled shapes and patterns and color splotches and the weird material, right? It's a sweater, but it feels like velour, and it's got this weird brown and speckled robin's egg shit going on. It's like, what the hell? I can't wear this at school. I will get beat the fuck up. Period. No. She bought so many sweaters that I had to wear if she was around. You see it on the TV all the time. Grandma's come and put on that sweater. I hate that sweater. She bought it, put it on. Fucking true life shit, right? I am serious. And all we had to look forward to was another weird sweater and tube socks and underwear. I had no idea. When I was a kid, all right, up into junior high and high school, I had no fucking need for underwear, right? They never got cleaned, right? If we'd use underwear and they would go into the dirty laundry and they would disappear. Like most of the clothes that would go into the laundry, they would disappear and they would just become this huge pile. And I shit you not, probably I remember at least 3 times during my childhood where it felt like we moved to a new house or a new place just to get away from this pile of laundry. All right? There were shirts and pants, shorts that like were priceless to me growing up. And they just vanished in a heap of dirty laundry. Because it would just get so out of control. You know, my parents would be like, dig through the pile and find something you want to take to the laundromat because we're only doing 2 loads. There's 5 of us in the family, and we're only going to do 2 loads. That means I get a shirt, a pair of pants, and socks if I can find them, right? If I can find a pair, and usually I just had 2 tube socks that were different colored stripes, right? I mean, stuff would go in to the pile, and then by the time I would pull the pile out, it wouldn't fit me anymore. I would have grown out of it, right? Nothing out of the pile fits me anymore. Well, stop eating! But, okay. Yeah, no, it was hilarious. It was really hilarious. What a hilarious life, running from laundry. I remember 3 times running away from a house that had a room in the house that was nothing but laundry. We had a laundry room in a house in Temecula. You couldn't get through the back. There was no machines there. There was just a pile of laundry. And that's it. You know what my father would do? He would wash a few things out for himself in the bathtub. He would wash out his own things and hang them up to dry and think he was teaching us a lesson. It's like, fuck you, asshole. Why don't you, spend a little less money on fucking around and spend a few fucking coin and wash some clothes for your kids. We didn't get clean clothes every couple of days or every week. Once a month, if we were lucky. I don't know how many times I got called to the principal's office and got the stinky kid talk, right? Fucking... And you're taught by your parents to use specific lies for specific questions, right? You tell them that your laundry machine is broken. We don't have a laundry. Just tell them that the washer and dryer is broken. Yeah, just fucking tell them. Yes, Mom. I mean, it was like we weren't allowed to talk about anything that happened in the house. Because, of course, if anybody got wind of anything that happened in our home, we would literally be yanked out and put in what was then Child Protective Services, welfare. I almost considered it. As a child, I almost considered a couple of times ratting out my parents just to get a good meal, a good night's sleep, clean clothes, a place to do homework, that kind of shit. Literally, seriously. But you don't, because you're used to those people. How scary would it be without those people? Probably less scary, looking back, right? So, yeah. think the only thing that my daughter was not allowed to talk about at school with anyone was that Papa smokes. Because back then, it was still a little, you know. Papa smokes a pipe, you know. So that right there would have gotten me in trouble. But there were several years where Papa didn't, because Papa was Papa. And I put my life on hold, and I got to the point where I was like, you know what, fuck this. You know, especially when it became legal here in California to smoke marijuana. Then I'm like, you know what, fuck it. Fuck it. But that was the only thing that she wasn't allowed to. In fact, we encouraged her. We said, look, if you ever feel like there's something going on in your life and you can't talk about it with mom and dad, you talk to one of your teachers. You know, if you feel uncomfortable about something that's going on and you can't, you don't, and it has to do with us, well, then tell somebody, you know. Because I didn't want that same weird feeling that I had growing up, like you couldn't trust your parents, and knowing that your parents are telling you to go, if you can't find help here at home, go talk to somebody. And that made a big difference in her knowing that she could tell us anything and we would be okay with it, you know. But yeah, she's a hell of a kid. All through her growing up, she's just been wonderful. As her alarm is going off in there a few minutes ago, and she's going to be getting up to run off to university again today. So it looks like I'm going to have to put together a little lunch. So at some point I will be shutting off the microphone and giving you guys a different camera angle so I can have some quiet time to talk to the girls and make some food. So that's what happens on Mondays and Wednesdays, is I'm a lunch guy and I got to put together a cooler full of food. So yeah, we've got some really good big French sandwich bread, so too big to make a whole sandwich, so I'll be making a half a sandwich for her, con lechuga y tomate, y queso y carne, y mayonesa, and mustard. Right. Hey, that was pretty good. Say habla español? Nope. I just pretend. So, yeah, I put some juices in the fridge last night to get cold. If she wants an apple, I think that's the only thing my wife will have to do is cut up an apple. I'm not good with the apple thing. I'm great right now. I'm great with food. If I don't have to eat it, I can make it perfect, right? If I have to eat it, I don't want to make it. Please, somebody else make me something to eat. Because as soon as I start cooking, I lose my appetite completely. The smell, the look, everything. I'm losing my appetite now just thinking about cooking food. So if you want me to make you something, that's great, but I'm probably not going to sit down and eat it with you right away. It'll have to sit in there for a while until I get my appetite back. So if I'm going to eat, like I made that burger for myself yesterday, it was really hard to do that, but I just pile of fries, stuck them in the toaster oven, fryer, walked away. Didn't think about it, came in here, sat here, got high, watched a little TV. Fries were just about done. I just grabbed a handful of meat, squashed it a couple of times, threw it in the pan, threw some salt on it, put it on low and walked away. Washed my hands, of course. Ew, my hands are so soft. And then went back and poked it and flipped it and then left it alone and tried to spend as little time in the kitchen as possible. And then made the food as easy as possible to eat. No lettuce, no tomato, a little bit of American, a little bit of cheddar, a little bit of mayo. That was it. Something nice and plain and simple. A little handful of fries with a little bit of ketchup and a Coke. And then I brought it in here and sat here, put a paper towel over it, and sat here for a few minutes while I kind of got over having been in the kitchen for that few minutes. And then once I stopped thinking about the food, then I was able to eat. And I had to eat it. I couldn't just I'm just going to sit here and just, totally relax and eat. I had to scarf it down before my body started to reject it or my brain started to say, geez, this is weird. Yeah. My food issue, it doesn't feel like it's psychological. It's becoming psychological because I'm always thinking about if I want to or if I can or if that's, it's just, boing, 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 just drives me nuts. So therefore, I either just decide not to eat or I don't think about it. I just, can somebody make me whatever you're making? Just make me a little, but make it so that I can eat it, right? Yeah, so that I can eat it. Small pieces, not too crispy. No things that I'm going to bite into that I have to bite through really, really hard. Old guy. An old gummer. Just give me some milk toast. Totally. Well, anyway, good morning. It's like the first week of November. I'm assuming that voting day is tomorrow. Where's my papers? Oh, Jesus. I think I'll have to get it later. Let me write a note. Voting stuff. And usually, what I'll do is if I decide that I want to feel like that this year, this time, that I know what's going on. So I'll read as much as I can. Not about the presidential candidates. I know enough about those two fucking idiots to know that I'm just going to write myself in. Because what a couple of fucking morons. I mean, it hurts my soul to think that these two fucking schlubs are the best that this great nation can come up with. Why is it always that we are the greatest nation on the planet, right? Yet we always seem to have the biggest fucking buffoons running the country. Explain this to me. That's democracy? That sounds like corporate greed, nepotism, and fucking a bunch of kiss-ass fucking narcissist zealots. And give me another one. I'm going to warm up my coffee because fucking political fucking idiots. Oh, man. Okay, it's time for somebody out there to win the lottery and buy me a little tiny house somewhere. Just a little, nothing fancy. Something where my daughter can put her little tiny home next to it. And we can raise chickens and stray animals. And, I wish we could qualify to adopt. But, there's no way. There's no people out there are going like, God, they're not going to give that guy a kid to raise, are they? Sure. If you knew my daughter, you'd be saying, somebody give that guy some kids to raise. That's funny. I'll tell you what. I don't know. I mean, this might sound a little stuck up, but I'll have to say that I produced a better child in my one daughter than my parents did in their 3 kids together. While their 3 kids have had children that have gone on to do better than us, I think that my parents produced pretty much floundering kids, right, for the most part. Unsuccessful and floundering. I think that's the best that I can come up with. I think my daughter, my sister did the same thing, right? She produced the oldest child, the one that I know the most, but she produced a child that far surpasses the 3 children that our parents produced. Same thing with my brother. His daughter is probably in better shape at that point than we were at that time. You know, granted, everybody's got issues, problems. We all run amok. But, yeah. I just think that we as parents, my brother and sister and I think we as parents probably did a better job than our parents. Probably because of what we learned from them being our parents. It wasn't easy. We were involved in a lot of shit. They dragged us through a lot of stuff. I'm not sorry. I'm not going to scream, fuck them, you bastards, it's their fault I'm like this. It's shit, it is what it is. I wasn't them. I didn't make their decisions for them. I didn't live their lives. I didn't go through the stuff that they did to make them the people who made those decisions, right? It was the time that they lived in, whatever you want to say about it. I got nothing bad to say about it. It was what it was. What are you going to do? Try to go back and change it? That's not going to do anything. Scream at people because you ruined my life. No. If I were to let it, yeah, sure. Then, but that would just be my fault. So, no, so that's why I can honestly say that I did a way better job raising my one daughter than they did with all 3 of their kids. Being one of those, and knowing 2 of them pretty well, I can say that. Yeah. So, of course, how many of us, out of the 3 of us, have children who want to have children, right? I mean, at this point, my daughter, no, she doesn't want to have children. But that's good. That's good that she doesn't want to have children at this point in her life. That when she does, if she does decide to have children, she's going to do it wisely. She's not going to be, 15 and pregnant. Right out of high school and pregnant. She will take some time to decide if and when, and that's, I got to give her credit. She's got a good head on her shoulders, Could I do that? Could we repeat that in our daughter? Could we repeat that in another person? I don't know. I guess it would depend on the person, right? Wouldn't it? It would depend on the DNA. Young enough, environmental conditions and influences can be a big factor. But DNA is also a big factor too. I mean, if you get the child of some fucking moron, fucking tardloid sloth, you're probably not going to get much out of that kid, right? As much as you try, the kid's just going to want to sit and feed his face and watch fucking Barney videos or some shit, whatever they watch nowadays. So, yeah. So there's a gamble. I mean, when you're with the person who you make the child with, it's less of a gamble. It's still a gamble, but it's less of a risk, right? It's still a risk. But when you get one potluck shipped to you wholesale from the adoption agency, or even fostering, fostering would be the best way to go, and then you can run through a bunch of kids and then decide at some point, hey, this is the one. Well, let's adopt this one. Let's stop fostering and adopt. But I don't know. I think at this point I'm probably too old. I think the best I could do would be to help get my daughter's life stable and going in the right direction before I'm checking out. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally. Well, let's see. I had to get some paperwork done, and I was waiting for a phone appointment. And the lady called me. I think it was Friday. Was it Friday? I think it was Friday. And she had something going on that day that we were supposed to have the appointment, and I would have to wait until like the end of the month, right around the holiday. And she's like, "You want to do it now?" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So now I don't have to fill it out and take it in. Let me check the dog. You want to get up here? Come on, baby. You want to get up here on this bed? Come on, baby. Come on. No? Okay, there you go. All right. To make sure that she was aware that she could sit anywhere she wants to sit. It's morning, so she's kind of a doofus in the morning. I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. Oh no, Mr. Bell. Oh no, holiday chicken. Oh no. Psst. 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 What are you doing, big face? You want to lay down? You want to go outside? What do you want to do, baby? Let me straighten your bed. Let me straighten your bed. There you go. There you go. She's such a weird dog. She's like... she's got these weird habits, and so if you disrupt her habit, if you disrupt her chain of events that she likes to have in a specific sequence, she'll just sit there and look at you. If her bed's out of place, she'll just sit and look at you until you fix it, and then she'll go lay down, and then she's out. If there's no food, she'll just sit there and look at you, and if you look at her, she'll just look at you. She won't give you any clue. She might look away, and that's it. And you have to read her mind to figure out what she wants. I'm getting pretty good about reading her mind. Sam, he and I are on the same wavelength, right? If I tell him to do something, he'll get up and do it, right? And my daughter is like, how does he understand to do that, right? You just told him to get up and go look at the window. And he got up and went and looked at the window. You know, it's like, how does he understand? You know, and I said, because he has a large vocabulary, and he remembers words with specific things, right? So if you say window or ventana in Espanol, he will go to the window. If you say mosca or fly, he will search around to find one. And so if you build a sentence around a word, he hears the words and he ties it together. He hears just his specific words. He doesn't really necessarily get all of the words, but he hears window, he hears mosca, so now he knows to go to the window and look for that frickin' mosca. You know? But he's really intelligent. He has his own vocabulary. And so yeah, sometimes it appears like he really knows exactly what I'm talking about. Hi, Tootsie Footsie, are you awake? You want up here? You want to go in? Hey, there you go. Hi. Back in a flash. I used to be your sweet mama, sweet papa, but now I'm just as sour as can be. Guten Morgen, ja. This is my show. I'm here to talk this morning about some stuff. So if you'd like to join me today, I'm going to talk about stuff like I'm the Swedish chef. Bork, 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 bork. Oh, man, it got cold while I was away. Oh, well. I'm going back. Let me heat this coffee up real quick. And then we'll talk, because I got lots to talk about. Well, looks like the spouse is awake. Everybody's awake so early today. You'd think there was something exciting going on. Maybe everybody's just awake early to spend time with me. Not likely. They're girls. They got plans, man. They got moving and shaking. They're like, oh, dude, you're slowing us down, man. Jeez, just stay there on the tube. La verdad. Dime la verdad. La verdad. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Oh crap! I told you. Lots going on. It's been windy lately, and the wind really makes my house creak. Because it's strong wind and it's a weak house. There you go. There you have it. Howdy. All right. So I'm going to be fading here again. Once again, I'll just stay here, but I'll have to kill my microphone on occasion so that I can afford my wife some privacy during our conversations this morning. Because that's what I do. I try to be courteous, you know. It ain't their show. They didn't ask for this. They didn't ask for this to be dumped in their living room, which is where my studio is. So, if I had the room, initially, my storage unit that I built, 10 by 12, which is, I had initially planned to use that for most of this stuff, and just have cameras in here occasionally to do recordings in this room. And I was just going to have it set up in there, surrounded by a lot of old stuff. But, hark, it didn't work out that well. I wound up with way too much shit in that shed. And most of it old shit. The crap, exactly the crap that's in this room, only just more of it. So, that's out. So I'm just going to kind of put the living room here back into a living room and take the other little corner over there and let it go like that for a while I'm on hiatus, and then eventually figure out something. Probably just keep this set up like a living room and do more. Do more of this, only from two different places. From a little cockpit like this, jammed into a corner, and from this spot here, only on a little love seat sofa, something like that. So yeah, we'll kind of shake it up a little bit. Totally. It'll be cool. It'll totally be totally cool. Totally. Can you dig it? I can dig it. Yeah. So, along with the regular old-time radio shows that I uploaded and the new series Dimension X in the morning, I also did the standard 5 educational films for the week. Some doozies, some great ones. So check them out. Some of my favorite topics, once again, insomnia is one that, of course, it's a French art film, so there's no, I don't believe there's any speaking. I don't remember there being speaking in it. But it's an art film on insomnia, which is pretty cool. And then, let's see, what else did I get? A good one, I love bicentennial stuff. So anytime I can dig up some kind of bicentennial stuff is cool. So there's one on pollution, which is one of my biggest head fucks on this planet is pollution. It's called It's an Ill Wind. 1776, almost an hour long. And it's an educational film about 1776. So it's got a lot of stock footage type video where there's not much acting going on. There's just a lot of talking, narration, and let's show a row of muskets, or let's show a bunch of tents, and let's show, something about the revolution, but not show anybody at all. And then they'll have like a few actors do some dramatization. And then there's one called Freedom 2000, which is I think it's a travel video for the Chamber of Commerce of the United States, which is, I believe it's like a world travel video. I'll have to watch it again to kind of get a grasp of it, but it seemed kind of weird to me. And Gateways to the Mind, another one that's almost an hour. It's a Bell Telephone presents thing where they explore the human mind and the senses. So that should be interesting. And then, like I said, the regular bunch of old-time radio shows. On occasion, I will throw in a surprise video, so hopefully something original, some kind of original content, right? And then Video Time Machine on Friday night. I have no clue what the fuck I'm gonna do, but I will have some kind of video time machine. It's fall, November, so creeping into winter. Something like that. Something, right? Maybe we'll get snow this year, and we'll get some video of some snow. That's always fun. I'll have to look through my files and see if I have video and footage of snow out here. I'm sure we do. I never throw video or photos away. I just download them. Anyway, I'll be right back, people. Don't go anywhere. And just sitting here, all of a sudden, I'm just exhausted. I had all this energy a minute ago, and now I just feel like passing out. My dog is frustrated because somebody's in the good seat. No, no. Tootsie's here, look. It's Tootsie. See? Look, Tootsie's here. There's no room. He wants there to be room. But there's no room because you're here. You're a cutesy. Yep. So the plan today is to winterize. So we're going to go out into the yard and clean the yard and get it ready for rain and snow and that kind of stuff. Wind. The wind will pick shit up right out of our yard and take it away. So we need to get everything cleaned up, ready to go. We never have to deal with dog stuff. Dog stuff is a regular daily thing. I know I go to some people's places and their dogs' poop is piled, fence to fence. And it's like, we get to it once a week or some shit like that. We have 4 dogs, little dogs, 3 little dogs and 1 big dog. And our yard is kind of small. And they're inside dogs. So therefore, we do like a twice-a-day maintenance on the yard. It just comes natural. Go out there with the little scooper and the rake and just scoop and scoop and scoop, and that's it. And once a week hose the yard down and soak it down really good. And that's the best you can do. At some point, I want to do paving stones, so it's an easier clean for them. And for us, just, a little hose, maybe a little bleach. And that's it. And then have a yard that's a part of the yard that's dirt. So they can, have dirt to poop on. But at the same time, it's got to be a piece of the yard that I can recycle the dirt. Dig down a foot, pull all the dirt out with the wheelbarrow, and then replace it with fresh dirt. That's important. Right now the yard's big enough that I can just kind of rake it and hose it and flush it, as it were. No, you can't get up there. She's got the bed. She's got the good seat. You guys will have to suffer. No, get off of it. Get off of the table, Holly. Go on. Go on, get down. There you go. Good boy. Good boy. You want to get up there, Sam? You want to get up here and I'll move the chair around? Aha, get him. Nope. It's wrestling time. Sam wants to wrestle. Oliver's like, nope. Don't fuck with me. I'm going to warm this up. I will be back. Sam's getting rowdy. All right, people, back in a flash. Don't go anywhere. I'll come looking for you. I know where you live. So I've got the dogs all pushed together here in a little chair arena thing here. And they're just sitting here grooming in themselves and each other, cuddling and being warm, doing that morning thing. They're just such they're just such cool dogs because they just do the dog thing. They don't try to, you know, put on airs or try to be what I want them to be. They just do their thing. Put that ear down. How's it going, buddy? How you doing? How's your foot? You okay? You all right there, buddy? Hi, little guys. Good boy. I know you're way over there. Hi, Sam. Way over there. Usually he likes to be the one right here. But Tootsie got there first. So he's bummed. He's bummed. But he's a sweetheart. He's a patient guy, so he's okay. You're a good boy, huh? So pretty much it's time to put together lunch. So I'm going to go build a couple of sandwiches. So I'll be right back, and you can hang out with the dogs while I'm gone. But I'm going to turn the sound off. Okay, back in a flash. That's why the mic is off. my wife said she's going to be back in a couple of hours, and we can. She's got a few things to do on our way back, so I told her I'll be raring to go when you get back. She's like, "You ain't going nowhere," and at this point, I'm thinking, "Yeah, I'm going to bed." That'll be. She comes back, and I'm supposed to be ready to get up and do stuff, and I'll be. Right. Just checking on the dogs here. They're all bedded down for the morning here. Tucked in together on the chairs. So they're all warming each other up under a blanket. Except for lonely guy here, who likes to be alone. He's all by himself up here. Oh, they're just so adorable. They're just so adorable at any age. So let's see. If she's not going to be back for a couple of hours, I've got time to put the video time machine together. I think I did get all the Dimension X uploaded for the week. I'm gonna have to check, because you know, we gotta make sure. I think I was like gonna not do it, and then I decided, I think maybe I decided at the last minute to go ahead and do it. So let's see. My measly 170 subscribers. And I'm pretty grateful to have that. It may seem like a small number, but it's a pretty big number to me. 170 people chose to subscribe and put their trust in me for entertainment. Ain't that great? Yep, I did upload it. Okay. So that one can come off the old list there. Everything has been uploaded. I put the oh, darn it. I put the darn it, weekly program guide together and uploaded that. I need to do a VTM, a video time machine, for Friday. And find out if there's any progress on the shirts. I know people were sick last week, so I was like, whatever. It's another week, so I'll shoot a message over and see what's going on. Pretty much get ready to go outside and prep for winter. So try to get a few things done in here on the computer before my wife gets back, so then we can work together outside and bang a few things out. Basically, I've got a van load of tools that I have from Friday installing that gate. And I've got a few tools outside, and I've got a tool shed, a stand-up tool shed, double door, Rubbermaid, I think it is. Really nice, big. One of our houses that we take care of has one, and I thought, okay, that's the perfect size. So I've got shelves on one side, shelves on the other side, and then open all the way through the middle so I can stack big machines and stuff in there, paint sprayer and air compressor and saws and that kind of shit. So I need to gut it and organize it and get rid of all the crap that gets piled up in there, building material type stuff. Looks like it's getting late. She needs to get some muscle in the hustle. But I have to do my eyes. Oh my gosh. Alone again, naturally. The kid is off to university. Mom is out to run errands after she drops her off. Can hear them out there laughing. Yeah, so they're off to do stuff for today. And I am staying home once again to do stuff because I'm a homebody. I'm the Mr. Mom. When I'm not wallowing in depression, I'm a pretty good Mr. Mom. Lately, I've been pretty good. When I'm not dragged away by this channel, even though sometimes I'll be doing live stuff here, and I'll be in there cooking freaking dinner at the same time, right? Juggling, baby. You learn that in daddy school. But yeah, I usually do okay as far as doing the husband-dad thing. We're doing burritos or tacos tonight. I think I'm going to do tacos. I'm in charge of that. It's like it's Taco Monday, right? Burrito Monday. So I'm going to put together that whole taco thing. Taco. All the fixins, Whitey style. And I think tomorrow I'm going to do teriyaki chicken and white rice and Asian vegetable medley, right? That'll be nice. We've already got our little tiny turkey, itty bitty turkey. I think I got a 10.5 pounder this time. Last time it was a 12 pounder. Yeah. So it should be just enough for the three of us and the neighbor and leftovers. If he gets lucky, he gets a plate of food from a couple of different neighbors, right? We'll probably send some over to Devin, the maintenance man who just lives behind us. So we'll probably send him a plate, and then send our recluse neighbor here a plate, and then probably a little leftovers for some turkey sandwiches. I don't know if he's a football guy. I think he just reads. I think he's a reader. So yeah, Thanksgiving will be just kind of the usual celebration of family and friends and community. That's kind of what I try. I try not to do the whole Pilgrim, Plymouth Rock bullshit story behind all of that we were learned in school. People my age learned a whole bunch of crap about that propaganda crap about Thanksgiving. So I usually try to celebrate Native American heritage more on that day. I try to respect it in every way possible throughout the year, but especially on that day, it seems appropriate, rather than try to pay respect to some kind of misguided story about how everything was so peaceful in the beginning. I choose to just celebrate family and friends and community. And by cooking a big meal, sharing it with the family and a couple of neighbors, I kind of knock it out of the park all the way around, right? So that's what I try to do. And that's just a reflection of what we do all year long. We're always throwing food next door at the neighbor. You know, I'll make a big bunch of food, a big extra pot of chili, and send over a big heaping bowl and big, piles of cornbread. Because it feels good, it feels good to share your meager food with your meager meal with somebody else, Yeah. So crap. After winterizing the yard, along with reorganizing the tool shed so I can empty the tools from my van, I need to clean the van and get it ready for the winter, because I love to drive that thing around in the winter. In the summer, not so much. I got to blast that air conditioner, and it just sucks up a lot of gas. I just might be inclined to just go into town here into Joshua Tree, find a spot, park, and watch the idiot tourists go by. I told my wife, I'm going to go set up my van and act like one of those van people, right? And they're going to say, like, dude, where are you from, man? That's a cool van. Where you from? Like, you from, California somewhere? And I'll say, yeah, man, I live, right up the street. What the hell are you doing? Jeez. Pretending like you're van people? Because it's fun. Fooled you. Totally. Dog. Stop licking that foot. You can't get it any cleaner. Well, I guess you could. But not on my watch. Not on my watch, damn it. Well, a couple of weeks till possible jury duty. A couple of weeks until possible dental work. Everything's kind of up in limbo until I get the word from my insurance that everything is good to go. So, I better write in here. The dentist, I'll have to check the time. I think it's 11 a.m. Yeah. Lots of stuff going on. I'm going to be revamping the studio, but more than likely you won't be aware of it because I won't be doing any live stuff for a while. It'll be anywhere from 6 weeks to 6 months that I could be out of the picture. If it's 6 weeks, expect me to come back with pretty much similar stuff that's going on. If I'm coming back in 6 months, figure on a whole new thing going on, because I'm going to be probably starting a whole bunch of stuff that I will have to put on hold for August. If I'm still kicking come August of 2025, I've got that huge reunion to deal with. Like, it'll be 3 people, right? Hey, woo! So I've got this huge thing that I've planned, and I'll be trying to carry that out. After the first of the year, I should have shirt production in full swing, which means that I've got until then to get shirts to people and to get another design rolling and more designs ready to roll, which means I've got to bring graphics back. I've got to redo stuff so that it is easier for the computer to create a screen for, right? Which means really cleaning up the graphic, which means pixel by pixel going in and straightening things up and making it look really, really tight so that it creates a really nice graphic. I'm using basic programs, but I'm getting pretty good results from those programs. So fingers crossed that once I get the shirts, and hopefully it will be this week, that I can get them out and into the mail ASAP. There's shit for work on the calendar right now, which means I'll have to beg, borrow, or steal to get the handful of shirts that I have paid for out to people. It'd be nice to get a couple of donations in before then so I could use that money to ship to people. Because I think once people have shirts and start spreading the word that they can get shirts, shirts should start flying. I'm going to send shirts to people along with order forms and stamped envelopes and everything so that people can just fill out who is getting a shirt, what size, what they're donating, and do that 10 times if they want to. Write one money order and send all of that to me. And then I just ship each thing out to each person, or ship them all to that person and they pass them out at work or wherever they do it, right? So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to try to get fundraising piggybacked like that, right? It's like, okay, here's your shirts. You were nice enough to donate. Now let's see if you can gather up some more donations, right? So everybody's going to get that. They'll get my cards, my YouTube business hobby cards, and they'll get the order forms, and the envelopes, the stamped pre-addressed envelopes. All they got to do is fill out the paperwork, stick it in there with the money order, and drop it in the mail, right? So I'm going to try to make this as easy on people as possible so that we can do the whole through the mail thing, right? Because through the mail is going to be easier on me through my financial situation, because I can't claim any of this money, so I don't want to really have it go through my system. And I think it'll be neat for everybody to do an old school type fundraiser, right? Like we used to do in school. We used to get those sheets, and we'd have to take them around and get our neighbors and stuff to donate or buy candy or some shit, right? Wrapping paper. I remember we did that wrapping paper thing for somebody once. Got to sell a bunch of wrapping paper. I think it was my daughter. But it was always something weird, right? So this way, it's, you know what? You're donating and you're getting shirts in return. It's a total win-win situation, right? You get shirts for about the price that you would get your shirts for anyway, and they're nice, limited edition graphic T-shirts. And we get our donation. We spend a little on shirts, and we pile a little away for more shirts, and to eventually get to where we can pay for a big party. Right? So all I see is a win-win situation. I'm going to get some more coffee heated up here. And then we'll probably go long because I got time. And I hate having to do that whole quiet thing. Yeah. That whole, turn off the microphone and be quiet. That sucks. So we'll go a little bit long today. It's Monday, so I got to get set up for Minecrafting Mondays, right? I got to get set up for that. So there's that, which means I got to hook up my daughter's machine in here. She's going to be gone late, so I can actually probably play late if I want to. But I'm going to spend probably most of the day working in the yard and then taking a nap, because I hate Minecrafting without a nap. While I used to be able to plug into a video game and play for hours and hours and sometimes days at a time, where you just get enough sleep to get back up and jump right back in again, right? I can't do that anymore. I can't do those long marathon. I can do it on the computer. I can stay on the computer for 12 hours and just work on one video if that's what I'm doing, right? Or work on one, series of programs. Like the other day when I did all of my Dimension X for this week. It was an all-day thing. It took me probably 20 minutes to create the video using a template with most of the stuff already there, and all I had to do was drop in my audio and rewrite some text, and that was it. But and then copy and paste and copy and paste and copy and paste text all the way down the line. So it got a little time consuming. The only plus about taking so long to do a video and then taking so long to upload a video and then get next to in between the uploads, it's taking so long now for these longer videos that oh geez, I just lost it again, man. It's getting to take so long to upload these videos that by the time I get uploading the video, I can upload another one, even if I've already uploaded pretty much what I usually think is my limit. Like I do about 7 to 9 videos, and then it'll say, you can't do any more, you've reached your limit. But that's if I do them all in like a 4-hour, 5-hour sitting, and then I get hit with that. Too many in 24 hours. But if I do one video every 2 or 3 hours all day long, then and then do a couple of, like the other day I did like 5 videos that took me a couple of hours to upload. And then throughout the rest of the day, I was able to upload another 7 or 8 or 9 or something. Because I was stretching them out only every hour, a couple hours. It'd take a long time to load this one, and then. So I don't know what the deal is. Maybe they're giving me more uploads. Probably not. They're probably sick of me. The YouTube algorithms. Yep. The tube. I better heat this up some more. It didn't get hot enough. That coffee in the pot was cold. But I always make a little bit extra. My wife, she makes just enough for the two of us. I make a little extra. All right, Betsy, you want to go outside? Is that what you want? So I don't want to stay too late on my show this morning. But, you know, I got a little extra time to kill. Let's see. I've been thinking of sitting and creating the synopsis and the direction for each themed episode of a morning show that I want to do. I want to do mornings with me, but it needs to go from mornings like this and then segue into the actual show. So the morning show will have different parts. It won't be your standard, you know, start to finish, you know, everything's perfect show. It'll have the morning where I'm doing my usual, doing the rant and rave kind of thing, the griping that I usually do. This shtick. And then it'll move into a themed morning show where then we'll talk about movies. And when we do that, I will change set. I will go from my sitting at whatever that is for the morning show, and then I'll move to another location with another camera and talk about movies, if that's what we're doing that day. And I will have lots of props, and I will try to create a little bit of video element for the show, like movie trailers, which is probably going to be the bread and butter for that show, is going to be movie trailers. TV promos for the television Tuesday. Old Time Radio Wednesday, we'll talk about the shows that we listen to. Better get this dog. All right, come back in now. A little cold? All right, baby face. Find a place to lay your bones. Everybody else is passed out. Everybody's under a blanket and they do not want to move. What do we got here? The wife. Little messaging to the spouse here. She's out running errands and needs to know if there's something I need her to do for my insurance while she's out and about. I never try to rush anything. I usually just try to let it work out organically. My favorite word for this whole last year. And it seems to work out pretty good. When I don't rush stuff, when I don't force it, it works out pretty good. That gate is an example, a recent example of that, where it took me over a month, or about a month, to get that gate from conception to completion and installed. It took about a month. While I only really worked on it for about, I'm going to say, 8 to 10 hours, right? About a day. It took me about a day to build the gate. I did a lot of the work by creating pieces of a puzzle and then gluing and clamping these pieces together and then nailing them with the nail gun with finish nails. So I created a bunch of pieces ahead of time. So, but those pieces that I created took me like minutes. They took me like an hour for this piece, and then I'd come back and flip it over and clamp it and glue it, and or glue it and clamp it, and then staple it from that side, right? And then just let it sit. So it was like I'd be working for like minutes to like an hour, and then I'd come back a few days later and I'd work on another piece of the puzzle. And the last day that I worked about an hour and a half, and took all of the pieces that I had created and fit them all together, squared it all up, and completed the thing. And it took me probably way less than 10 hours to do this whole thing from start to finish it, and even the installation. And it was a whole lot of fun. You know, I told my wife, had I been able to do this physically like I was 10 years ago, I said I would have been able to do this in a half a day. I would have taken all of the pieces over there. I would have created this whole thing in half a day. But I don't think that it would have been as good, because when I do things slowly, I have a tendency to think things out in many different directions. What if this happens? Do this. What if this happens? Do that. What if this happens? Do this. So I do all of these things ahead of time so that we don't have issues down the road. You know, right down to the door, the gate that hinges, right? The side of the gate that hinges, I put a crossbeam that comes down, and I made it specifically so that one coming down actually supports the gate to keep it from sagging on both sides, right? Because it's kind of a heavy gate, but because I used glue and clamps and finish nails to put all of this together structurally in what's keeping it square, it should be fine for, you know, years, if not decades. And I feel good about that. I think I want to take over a little strip of trim wood to put underneath the top shelf. I think it needs a little piece of trim wood there just to conceal some of that gappage, and that's it. But other than that, it's a beauty. And that won't take much. Take the compressor, the nail gun, a piece of wood, and just other side, done. And then it'll look even prettier. And I can even take one of the boards that I have and just buzz a couple of thin pieces off, rip a couple of thin pieces, sand them out really good, and just tack them in. Just like that. Don't even have to buy any special wood. And it'll be the same color scheme, right? I'm going to do that. So when I'm unloading the van, I'll probably go ahead and take that last board and rip it down into some nice pieces, sand them out. Take those over with the saw, cut them out, buff the edges with a little bit of sandpaper, and then just tack them on with the compressor, the nail gun. What's up, Bessie? Go lay down. Go to bed. Go to bed. You keep staring at me. I don't know what you want. You're a sphinx. You're a sphinx, dog. All right. Well, I'm going to have a little bit more coffee, do some more bong hits here. Hot. Good, sweet, and hot. Yeah. And then get dressed. I'm going to throw on my jeans and probably work on gathering up elements for this week's time machine. I will come up with some kind of theme and come up with some different musical artists to find videos of and try to gather up enough data to put together about a 30-minute episode. Putting together something that's a little longer is fine in case I have to drop a portion of it because of copyright. So I'll usually try to make it from 30 to 45 minutes long. Some of the elements I use are, 8 to 10 minutes long. The Felix the Cat cartoons, some of those are really long. I love watching those old Felix the Cat cartoons. They're so bitchin'. Yeah, I think the last one we did was from 1927 because it had a Halloween theme to it. But he was more like the Felix the Cat that I remember on TV. Whereas the early silent Felix the Cats were a different brand of Felix. His grandparent or something. But they're great, great cartoons. Music videos from the 20s and 30s. That's what I have trouble finding, are good recordings of music, artists doing their songs, mainly I get them from old movies, or those little shorts, musical shorts. Musical shorts are good, because it's usually 20 minutes of a bunch of different musical acts, entertainment acts, kind of like a vaudeville type thing. So I try to dig up those, and then if I can find one good short with a bunch of different music stuff on it, then that's multiple episodes I can use. That's bitchin'. I totally dig that. So yeah, and I'll probably have to put on some music at some point somewhere. I think I'm feeling like I need to listen to some. I want to listen to that last album that I haven't heard from. What is it? I want to say Yoshiro. Yeah. I'm not even going to try to remember the name because I'm not good with names, and I haven't said it enough out loud to remember it yet. But it's the Japanese artist from the 70s, 80s that my friend is really into, and he brought 4 records when he came. And man, am I lucky, because I'd never heard of this stuff before, and I love new music, especially when it's new old music. Something from my era that I just never heard. It's like I fall in love all over again. Arr. What's up, Bessie? You just gonna stare me down? Bessie? Bessie? Go to bed. Go lay down. Go lay down. Go on. Go lay down. Go to bed. Go on. Go to bed. There's food in the bowl. There's water. Go to bed. Go on. Go to bed. Go to bed. There you go. There you go. Go to bed. You can go to bed. Go to bed. Go ahead. Get in there. She likes to sleep on our bed, of course. And she sleeps at the foot of Mom's side of the bed at night because Mom's shorter, of course, so she's got room there. And she's always surrounded by all the dogs. All the dogs want to sleep with Mom. Must be something about women that dogs just want to cuddle up with. I get it. But as soon as Mom's gone, she gets up and she lays in Mom's spot. I think she thinks we're married. She's like, who's this other broad around, right? She's a funny dog. Funny dog. But sometimes I can't read her. She goes stone-faced, and then I don't know what. It's usually because she wants something very specific, right? And I just have to start looking around. Do you want to go out? Do you want to lay? Is your bed in the right spot? Do you want water, food? What's the deal? What are you missing? Yeah. What am I going to listen to? I don't know. Maybe some what you call it. Big Sandy and his Fly Right Boys. That sounds good. I miss Big Sandy. I need to try, as soon as he comes back, does more shows this away, I need to try to get out to see him. If I could see him in Palm Springs somewhere, because that's close, or Pappy and Harriet's, you know, that would be perfect, because then I don't have to go too far and I can really enjoy the show. Pappy and Harriet's is good, really good, because you get right up on the stage and you're like right with the artist. Especially if you get there early and get in line early and get in there early and get your spot. You can be right front and center the whole show. And it's just beautiful. The only bummer is it's standing room only, right? I'd love to see him at a club where everybody has a table, and we could like sit at a table with drinks and food and watch a really nice show. That would be classic. And that would be classy. So if we could get him in Palm Springs somewhere. If you're not familiar with Big Sandy and his Fly Right Boys, go to my playlist and find Big Sandy. I think I've got, if not music videos, I believe I have all of his CDs, or most of his CDs, there in playlists, so you can listen to all of his songs, or most of them. I would love to see him do a Freddie Fender tribute, and not just Freddie Fender, but a few different guys of that era, because he just really, he's been doing this for so long. You know, he's been doing this professionally since he was 20 years old, right? And he is really, really good at what he does. Big Sandy. Oh my goodness. My friends out here turned me on to him. They said, hey, we've got tickets to the show at Pappy and Harriet's. You want to go check it out? I'm like, yeah, sure. Let's do it. It was just out of the blue, the middle of December. And I fell in love. I ran outside after the show and had to get a hug and a photograph. It was just surreal how awesome it was. And I'm like, dude, I love that Freddie Fender song. I wish we could have heard more. And he said, oh, I wish you'd have said something. I'd have just played the hell out of Freddie Fender if you'd have said something. And I'm like, oh, next time I see him, I will ask him to play a whole Freddie Fender set. Fucking medley, whatever you want to do, something, you know. Oh yeah, just beautiful stuff. I think I'm going to put together a bunch of shorts. I've got a lot of stuff that I can make some great video shorts, little snippets from concerts and stuff. I need to get some kind of program that allows me to take Apple video and interpret it from my Apple phone. So I can start this program and then plug my Apple phone in, and my Apple phone will take the information and translate it onto the computer here, right? I think Dropbox is what I got to use to get it here, but then I still got to translate it, or it's nothing. You know, I get an hour's video and it turns to 15 seconds or something. So, yeah, or the video is none too good. Yeah. But I'm still learning with all of this fucking video digital crap. I've got 3 external hard drives now, one older one and 2 newer ones. The brand new one I just got recently. And I had to build that gate to get the money to do it. But at this point I'm looking for another little project I can do so I can get another one of those. And I'll put one on each computer. And then I won't use desktop. I won't use computer at all, I'll just be using memory from the hard drive. Do something on the computer, move it to the hard drive. So I can keep everything on the external hard drives and keep my computers free of clutter, right? And then at some point I need a Chromebook for going live and a desktop computer, a big beefy PC with multiple terabytes, and some other bells and whistles that I really need, video graphics card, sound card, that kind of stuff. So like a gaming computer that I can use for video editing. And then that will be the bread and butter. I'll put that one onto a big monitor and have that one set up with video editing stuff. And that will be just for that and for storing stuff. And then the laptops, I'll have a graphics laptop and a portable laptop, so that I can free one of these up to take with me, and have the Chromebook set here so I can go live from a Chromebook. A Chromebook will have enough storage to have my apps and just interpret everything that I'm bringing in from my audio video mixer. That's it. That's all I need. Nothing fancy. Just one of those cheap little $200 or $300 Chromebooks from Walmart, which most of the crap that I use is Walmart special, cheap, Amazon, eBay stuff, as cheap as I can get it. The ATEM Mini Pro audio video mixer from Blackmagic Design. I ordered that directly from Blackmagic Design through Walmart, I believe. But it came directly from them. Because I didn't want to get I didn't want to get somebody who was selling a bunch of them, had a warehouse full of them. And you see a lot of the guys out, have 5 of them, and they're going to sell them off and try to make a profit on them. And I didn't want to get those ones that were used. You can, you get $15 less because it was opened and used, but it's in good shape. It's like, what? And all I get is a $15 break. I realize that those things are expensive and hard to come by, but come on. I got mine at a better price than you're trying to sell this used thing for. So, no. The bubbles, I have to check the bubbles to make sure they're bubbles and not bugs, right? But I can only see clearly at a certain distance, and then everything else blurry, and then blurry. Ain't that the way, right? Getting old. Getting old. So, I guess I'm going to get out of here pretty soon and get to cranking on this video time machine. I have no clue. I think I'm going to do some Native American stuff because I can, and because I think it's important, especially during this month and this Thanksgiving crap. So I'll do that. And I think that will be a focus. See what I can come up with there. A music video. I need 2 of those. I believe I've got enough Felix the Cat to take us through the end of the year, I think. If not, I'll try to be digging up some more. If not Felix, some other similar cartoon. 1920s animation is really cool. In fact, the last one has actually got Mickey Mouse in it. He does a cameo. He doesn't talk. He doesn't speak. And they don't make reference to him being Mickey Mouse, but it's clearly Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse making a cameo probably unwanted cameo in this Felix the Cat. Because, cat and mouse thing. But it's really funny. You get a chance, watch the Video Time Machine, the Halloween edition. It's ready to view. It's there. Check it out. It's fun. The Halloween show was fun. It had a couple of technical difficulties, but other than that, it was pretty good. My own technical difficulties, my faux pas. Oh, I pressed a button wrong. Let me start over again. That kind of thing. Other than that, it was pretty good. Pretty good show. Yep. Good. Yeah. Oh. I sit here and I go through these moments where you think, what's wrong with him? He's silent. And I'm just flashing back to different stuff. Because as I sit here and talk about things, it brings up memories of other times and places, Thanksgivings and Christmases and holidays and other years gone by. And I'm usually in the past, 2 or 3 decades removed from the present, most of the time. So when you see me going back, I'm going way the fuck back. To all kinds of crazy shit. Crazy. Crazy. I guess a half an hour is going to be long enough to go long on this morning's show. It's given me enough time to kind of catch up after my silent period. I will be back this evening. I will be. I've got Minecrafting Mondays, and I don't really have anything pertinent that's going to keep me from not coming back, so I should be back this evening. Sometimes I've got to cancel or preempt my Minecraft Monday show because of family obligations, out at the store doing stuff and just can't make it back in time, or wife and daughter stuff, whatever it might be. So, that's why sometimes my sound and video is preempted for family stuff. It's like, okay, we gotta wait. Let's do family stuff, and then we'll come back and have fun with the show. And it is fun. I enjoy doing this. This is what I live for now. Sitting here, talking to myself. I'm my own biggest fan and worst critic, right? All right. I am going to cut loose like a goose and go ahead and play my end credits and remind you all to be kind to each other, spread peace and love, not bullshit. Do something for yourself, but as well, do something for somebody else too. Why? Because we're not alone. We're together in this world. And most especially, stay weird, because if you ain't weird, ain't nobody gonna do it for you. All right, people, this has been Mornings with Crazy Old Weird Bearded Guy. Yo, that's me. Love you. Adios. See you tonight. Bye now.